Hello everybody, Sydney Curtis here, the Unhinged Celeste. As promised, I have a very complex idea to talk to you guys about. First and foremost, I do not know anything. The information that I'm going to relay with you here is only because I am now at a new point within my own healing journey, and I have been able to look back at some of the things that I was trying to do and kind of observing the things that were working and not working for me to be able to get to the point where I am now. So this idea is a bit complex. I think maybe I have some lovely props to use to show you guys to have a visual thing happening. If at any point you're a little confused or you're not understanding, you can pause and go back and replay and replay and replay as much as you need to kind of understand the concept that I'm going to be talking about here. If anything still does not make any sense to you, you can reach out to me and let me know so that I can rework another way of trying to describe what it is that I'm describing here. Also, that being said, yeah, let's just dive into it. So, I have a shot glass. This is your mind. Your mind is now nice and empty, and we believe that it ends here. So, I'm going to explain to you a process, and you might be anywhere along this process that I'm explaining, but I'm going to kind of do my best to explain from the very, point 1 all the way to point, we don't know where it ends. So, we have our mind, and a lot of us are struggling with understanding how to clear our minds so that we don't have so many dark thoughts. And I'm not perfect. I still struggle, but it's gotten a lot easier. So here we have your mind stuffed with lots of dark thoughts. Doesn't really seem like there's room for much else. If I were to try to take something a little bit more positive, it doesn't really look like I have much space. So I've come to realize that in my method of trying to learn how to meditate and how to clear my mind, I would sit and I would push everything out. And now my mind is clear, and I'm sitting there and I'm breathing and I'm focusing. My mind is clear. And then when I'm done meditating, my thoughts just kind of snap right back to where they were. And I couldn't figure out, why am I having such a hard time at keeping my mind clear throughout the day? I came to realize that as I'm sitting there and I'm forcing all of these thoughts to leave my mind, and now I'm empty, these thoughts don't just go away. They are still hovering right here because I haven't resolved any of these. They're just pushed out of my mind. I'm forcing them away. I don't want to think about them, forcing and forcing. But what I don't realize that as I'm forcing these thoughts out of my mind so I can sit for a few minutes of clarity and no noise, the force of me pushing my thoughts out of my mind to keep them clear has now created this shield around my consciousness, where now nothing new, nothing positive or creative can enter. I'm pushing all my thoughts out of my mind, and now new ideas, new information can't come in. They're trying to come in. I'm pushing everything out. Everything has to be out. And then I'm done meditating, and all my thoughts go right back to where they think they live, in my little brain. So what can we do to help the process of filtering out these thoughts? We can't just banish them into nothing. That's not how my mind works. I figured out that I had to do an exchange of thoughts, and doing an exchange of thoughts is not easy. It's not easy. Because let's say I decide, again, guys, where you are right now, you might be looking inside your mind and thinking, oh my God, it's so overwhelming. That there's a huge knot in my mind and I don't know where to start. I don't know how to start. It's too overwhelming. I'm just not even gonna think about it. And this is just gonna keep growing and growing. We have to take a deep breath and just try to work on one thing at a time, one day at a time, one step at a time. If I take one thought that my mind is really focusing on, let's say it's this one, and let's say this thought is, you're a piece of shit. Okay, not a great thought, but my mind is thinking, you're a piece of shit. I can't just take this and push it out. What can I do instead? Can I take something that's somewhere along the opposite of you're a piece of shit? I'm not a piece of shit. I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. I'm not a piece of shit. I'm doing my best. Now, your little piece of shit thought's gonna wanna stay here, and you're not going to wanna put in, I'm doing my best. I'm just doing my best. I'm doing my best. But you have to work on taking this one thought and exchanging it with this one so that this one can snuggle in a new spot. And now this, your piece of shit thought, might still want to come in and fight for its little spot that it's made in your mind, but we have to keep reminding ourselves, you're not a piece of shit. I'm doing my best. You're not a piece of shit. I love you. You're not a piece of shit. You're not a piece of shit. Now this thought can slowly dissipate and be left. A new thought. It's another day, it's another week, it's another month. We have this thought under control now. Let's take another thought. You're unworthy of anything and everything. You don't deserve anything. You're unworthy. Okay. Interesting thought. I'm not unworthy. I do deserve anything I desire simply because I exist. I have value. I'm not unworthy. I have value. I have value. I have value. Now, as you're trying to practice this energy exchange, this thought exchange between a positive and a negative, your brain is a very, very smart tool. It's going to start to understand, oh, okay, I'm understanding that when I think a negative thought that brings me down, that makes me feel like shit, I'm practicing on acknowledging that thought, acknowledging the I'm unworthy thought. Okay, I see it, I feel it, and I'm exchanging that with the I have value, or whatever it is that you want to exchange that thought with. And your brain, over a certain period of time, is going to be like, oh, okay, I get it. Okay. Now, it's going to be much easier for you to filter out all of these other negative thoughts that have come into place. And your mind is going to start accumulating all of these thoughts that you have now practiced exchanging. So now, let's take a look at your mind over whatever amount of time it takes you to practice this, because time is relative. Time is not a firm construct of something. Time is relative to you. Our mind's looking a little better. You know, we got a lot more positive thoughts and a lot less negative thoughts. And at this stage in your consciousness, you might start to think, wow, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling a bit more light. you know, I'm starting to understand what it means to accept my flaws and myself, because I have these positive thoughts as a reinforcement of you're worthy, you have value, I love you, I see you. Now, it's interesting because as you start to feel better, you're going to start thinking, I've got a real handle on myself. I know what I'm doing. I understand my emotions. I understand where they come from. You know, my thoughts and my feelings and my actions are all connected. If I have negative thoughts, I'm going to have negative actions. I'm going to have negative feelings. Blah, 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 blah. Now, you might get to a point where you've got all of these positive reinforcements now in your mind. They're here to back you up. They're here to keep you aligned. So let me just stuff my little consciousness with a lot of positive reinforcements. Now, my mind is looking pretty good. What's interesting you have these little thoughts here. You've got really good at observing and clearing all of your other mess that you have over here to a point where now your mind is clear. So now if you're trying to meditate, it is much easier to clear this because your positive thoughts are not there to weigh you down. It's much easier to clear your mind, meditate, observe your thoughts, yada, yada, yada. Now, you may start to notice that you've got a couple left in there. And these are really hard to push out, and you don't exactly know how to push out because now that you've sifted through all the other garbage, you come to realize that these 2, 3, 1 couple of dark thoughts that are left, these are the guys that started all of them. These are the core beliefs that you have had since your early childhood, and your mind doesn't exactly know how to let them go because your core value, your core belief might be, I don't deserve anything, I'm unworthy, and I'm a piece of shit, whatever it is. Your mind does not know how to let go of these thoughts because these 3 core beliefs is everything that you know about yourself and about the world that you live in. And these positive thoughts are lovely, but they're still new, they're still fresh, you enjoy them, but these are not your core beliefs. These have not cemented in your core beliefs as of yet. And as you practice energy exchanging or thought exchanging, and you get more and more positive thoughts coming in because you've opened that gate, they're going to start pushing these negative core beliefs right to the very edge of everything you know. And we believe that our minds can't go anywhere. We believe that our minds are only this big. We perceive only this much, and it cannot be moved. But as time goes on and more positive reinforcements come in, these get very squished. And you start to realize, I've got to let these go. But I don't know how to let these go. Because take a look. This looks very small, right? And on the outside of the glass, this is so vast and open. These thoughts are looking out here and they're like, holy crap, I don't know anything beyond this point. It is so unknown. And if I let go of these, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't know who I am. I don't know what I believe. I don't know what's real. And this this point in your consciousness can be very scary, can be very overwhelming, and can make you feel very weighed down to the point where you might think, you know what, shit, I don't know if I can let these go. But if you don't let these go, you start to realize that these core beliefs are calling in their own reinforcements. They're calling in their own reinforcements. And now the thoughts that you thought you dealt with are starting to come back. I'm a piece of shit. You are unworthy. You're garbage. You don't deserve anything. You're never going to succeed. And then you start being like, holy crap, like I thought that I had everything controlled. Why am I getting this big mess again? But your positive reinforcements are still there, right? Your positive reinforcements don't actually go anywhere, because as soon as you learn these lessons, as soon as you learn, no, okay, these thoughts are coming back, but I've already learned I'm not unworthy. I've already learned I am successful. I've already learned I'm not a piece of shit. I've already learned this. So it's easier for me to breathe and let go of these thoughts that I've already, in a sense, conquered. And we get back to these couple thoughts. And you realize that if you don't let these go, you're going to continue living the life that you're fighting so hard not to. And you're going to feel like you're dying. You're literally dying. The you that you know is dying. But when you finally break free and you decide, okay, you know what? No more. No longer am I gonna think these really shitty thoughts, because these thoughts are what's keeping me down. These beliefs are what is restricting me from being who I truly want to be and who I feel like I'm truly aligned to be. And as soon as you can say, fuck off, you realize you didn't die. You were just simply reborn. And you realize that your mind is not this hard glass that cannot be moved. You start to realize that your mind has now expanded beyond the limitations of what you believe. And now your mind, this is just right here. Your mind might feel like this now. Look at all this room that you have. And now that your core beliefs are not there, you have all these positive reinforcements that you've worked on building, and they're gonna keep calling more and more positive reinforcements. Your channel is now open. You can receive creative ideas, inspiring ideas, motivational ideas, positive ideas. And now you're living in love, in alignment, and it is a possibility. It is a reality. And I'm telling you this because I did this. I took my little small mind that was full of dark shit, like the darkest shit you could fucking think of. I thought I wasn't going to get out of that, guys. Like, I wanted to kill myself. I didn't know what I was going to do. This felt like it was going to be forever. And it took me years to understand how to take my negative thoughts one day at a time, one thought, one day, one moment, and just exchange it. It's not going to feel natural to you. Don't think that this is an easy process. It's like, oh, yep, I can just do the thing. No, you're gonna feel like, shit, I can't do this thing. Because thinking positively, when all you've known is thinking negatively, is going to feel very foreign to you. It's going to feel very stupid to you. You might feel like, okay, I'm gonna try thinking I'm not a piece of shit. But at the same time, you might have another like weird thought being like, who the fuck are you to think that you're not a piece of shit? Okay, no, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm not a piece of shit. Who the fuck are you to think that you're not a piece of shit, girl? And you have to really, really work with these two things to acknowledge what is going to be serving you for the higher good, for the better and what's here to drag you down. And your mind is going to tell you that you're pretty fucking stupid for even considering thinking a positive thought, for even considering it. And you have to tell your mind, no, 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 no. No more of that. No, I'm going to work on exchanging it. I'm going to work on exchanging it so that I can come to a place of openness, so I can come to an understanding that my conscious mind is not this limitation of perception. I can see so much more now. I can feel so much more, and I can understand so much more than I ever thought I could. And when you learn that expanding this limitation of perception into something more like this means that you're not going to die, you're not going to die. You're just going to be reborn. And there's going to come a time for me, I'm here now, I'm going to have to eventually come to a point where I rebirth myself, because the conscious mind is always expanding, always expanding. And the reason why it kind of feels overwhelming for you now as an adult is because our minds started off very small as a child. And it's been growing ever since. And we didn't understand that it's been constantly growing ever since we were young. But because our mind was probably filled with dark thoughts from the very beginning, as it grew, we didn't really see that it was growing. It just looked more dark. It looked, okay, I just have more dark thoughts in here. But what's actually happening is that as you get older and you learn more things and you experience more things, that negative perception does grow. And it does become bigger, and a lot more negative thoughts are going to start piling into this now. And now you're looking at this as an adult and you're like, holy shit, Sydney, where the fuck do I begin? How the fuck am I going to sort all of this? One thought at a time, one day at a time, one moment at a time, one breath at a time is the only way that we can work through expanding our consciousness. Please let me know if any of this makes sense to you. Let me know how it resonates with you, if it resonates with you at all. And I truly hope that this little explanation with my visual can help you kind of understand what I've learned through taming my own wild mind, okay? I will be here with more videos, more inspiration. Don't forget to like, share, and even subscribe, just so that this video can reach other people who it may help. If this video doesn't even resonate with you, that's fine. I don't care. But please, please do me a solid and like, share, comment, subscribe, so that this video can be pushed out into the world to other people who it may resonate with and who it may help them to start understand how to get a control of their minds, because it's so important right now, so important. You can also check out my website, theunhingedceleste.com, to see more about what I'm about, or also my Instagram, which I will also post on here. I love you guys. I hope you're doing well, and I will talk to you soon.